In 2018, there were 36,560 motor vehicle fatalities across the United States, 53 in Rhode Island alone. The National Highway Safety Administration predicts that over 450 people will die in motor vehicle fatalities across the United States just in this Thanksgiving period alone. Another 800 motor vehicle fatalities in the Christmas period alone. That's a very sobering statistic. If you think something like this can't happen to someone in Rhode Island, you're wrong, because it can, and it almost happened last night at 11 p.m. So I got that dreaded call that most police chiefs get, and that one of my troopers was involved in an accident. Luckily, the two troopers were not injured. But I'll explain to you how it happened and how it can happen. So at 11 p.m. last night, a Rhode Island trooper pulled over a vehicle for a motor vehicle stop. His supervisor, a corporal, heard him call out to stop and backed him up on the motor vehicle stop, which we're all trained to do. He pulled his cruiser behind the trooper making the stop, who was in the car writing the citation, and angled his cruiser away so that if he was struck, the vehicle would turn out instead of in and strike the trooper. We do this hundreds and hundreds of times a day, thousands of times a week. Well, last night, the trooper who was backing up, the corporal that was backing up that trooper, did his job, did what he was supposed to do, angled his cruiser, got outside his cruiser, stood and watched over the traffic. A drunk driver came barreling down the breakdown lane and struck the cruiser. The cruiser veered off away from the trooper, and I'm convinced that if that cruiser was not there, that we'd be having a different press conference today. It would have been a very serious accident. I spoke to both troopers. They were so appreciative that we had the funding to put the extra cars on the road. So I want to thank you again.
So while the holidays are an exciting time, they also have a darker and dangerous side when impaired driving becomes part of the festivities. That's why local law enforcement will be visible on the roads looking for impaired and unsafe drivers. We are totally committed to making sure that the roads of our communities are as safe as possible. Our goal is to continue to educate the public on the dangers and consequences of impaired driving and prevent tragedy before it happens. The Rhode Island Police Chiefs Association will be thankful if there were no traffic-related fatalities this holiday season.
If we're going to drive closer to zero, there needs to be a cultural change that has to take place, and we need the help of just normal, everyday people. And that call to action is going to begin to ask people to get out of their comfort zone and take the initiative that if you have a loved one or a friend or an acquaintance or maybe even a stranger that is about to make the wrong decision and get behind the wheel drunk, step up and try to help that person make the right decision.